We're back with Dennis Francis, president and publisher for the Star-Bulletin and MidWeek newspapers.
How do you know when it's time to cut a project that you think isn't working?
Well, I can honestly say that I've never really cut a project. I've completely stopped it or went back to something. What I think is a real skill set, and I try to tell many of my managers over the years, is that being able to recognize a project that is maybe not at certain increments of timeline is not working as well as you anticipated, to be able to make adjustments. And you can call it changing it on the fly or however you want to categorize it. But not every plan is laid out on paper perfectly. And I'm a big proponent of ready, fire, aim approach, because too many times people get caught up in planning and planning and planning and planning and planning, and by the time you polish off your last page and your last slide on your PowerPoint, then the target is moved, and when you pull the trigger, you're missing something, and the target is moved, and you need to be able to make adjustments and have confidence that the base plan that you developed is correct, but maybe some of the elements of the strategies that you've employed are not working, and you just change those.
So it's interesting because your philosophy is really entrepreneurial and not real similar to most large corporations.
Well, that sounds like we rehearsed this, but that's a great question, because one of the things that led me to make the career change that I made when I was at the Advertiser and the Hawaii newspaper agency as general manager, that I was sharing some of my thoughts with another local business executive of my dilemma and whether I should make this career move. And as we talked, he said, Dennis, I've always felt that you were an entrepreneur in a corporate body, and maybe that's the conflict that I had sometimes when I would not be comfortable or get frustrated with corporate approaches. Not to say that the corporations, including the Gannett company that I used to work for, were bad or wrong in their approach. It was just a style that didn't really adapt to my strengths.
And how did you find that was adapted by the organization? Because a lot of organizations stuck in bureaucracy don't want to move like that. They think differently. Yeah,
I guess I just got lucky, and it wasn't anything real that sticks out in my mind.
You were able to, I guess, crawl up, or you're able to get really to a high position, even though you didn't finish school. Who have you had as a great mentor in your life that really helped you in your career path and the decisions that you made?
Well, I think back from day one, I've had, and I've said this to many people, many folks that have worked for me over the years that are looking to move because of their bosses. I've had a lot of great bosses. And I'll just throw out a number. I don't know if it's exactly true, but let's say I think I've had maybe 10 bosses. 8 of those were really, really good, and 2 weren't. So you take the ones that you really learn from all 10 of those, and I try to tell folks that you can learn from everybody. And I didn't necessarily have any one mentor, but I would say maybe the first boss I had when I first started in the business was probably somebody I really thought about a lot, because that was at a small place, and I was able to learn quite a bit when you're at a smaller company.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.